It's the big one. United versus Brighton. Yes, it's the one we've all been waiting for. An absolutely mouth-watering clash. And we'll keep that in. Let's check it out. Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the big game. It's a Premier League preview. We're playing Brighton, a massive game. Not just big, it's massive. So I need two massive United fans with me. And I've got him, Mr. Joe Smith. How are we doing, brother?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm just so excited. Honestly, I cannot contain myself. This is the most excited I've ever been for any game ever.
Your Worth is mounting. I don't know if you've
My
noticed.
Worth is mounting. It really is. Come and feel that as well.
You don't get many Worth Mounter in matches.
You don't.
Do you? You don't get
not
many.
Not this time of the season.
No.
I know, it's my age. Also with us is Andre La Barbera.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for
You're
having
kind
me.
of putting us in the shade here with that name, though, bro.
Yeah.
You've got Joe Smith,
mean,
which is the second most common name in
the thing
England.
is,
All right, what's the most common?
John Smith.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
I don't know.
John Smith's.
And you've got Jay Motty.
Jay Mottershead. Justin Mottershead's pretty
Justin
good.
Mottershead, I presume. Where's what's the background? From
So I've got an Italian father and an Irish mother, and they met and had me in this country.
So you've
And
got
I'm here. I'm still here.
You know, a plethora of
Despite them trying to take you out.
Yeah.
Despite the government trying to get rid of him, he's still here.
They never did. I promise you.
Welcome to the preview, and
Thank
you couldn't
you.
have picked a better game to preview.
So,
because
yeah.
boy.
Exciting
Isn't
at the
it?
moment, isn't it?
It is. I am excited. Joe, if we are going to win this game, and there's a good chance we won't because we rarely do
Love
nowadays,
that from you.
one player who may have a big say in it, who was the first player, perhaps the only player to score a winner against Brighton after full time, is Bruno Fernandes.
I think that's still the only time I've ever seen that.
Is
When
that
we got
that's
we had
never
that-
happened
we had that
since, has it,
penalty
or
given
before?
No, I don't
from
think so.
VAR.
Yeah.
Literally after the full-time whistle had blown.
Like full time goes,
Yeah.
it's a draw, 2-2. No.
It was amazing.
VAR says, hang on a minute.
We get a penalty.
Making history.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. He was back amongst the goals
Yeah.
for Brentford. He's got, I think, 10 Premier League goals this season. Yeah, it's been a little bit underwhelming because of the previous high standards he set and because he has gone long periods without scoring. He's sort of been in fits and starts, hasn't he? What have you made of Bruno Fernandes this season?
He's not been up to his best, has he? But his drop-off has been less of a drop-off than other people's drop-offs. So, like, you look at the people who've really sort of sank from where they were last season, someone like Wan-Bissaka or Maguire or Shaw or Rashford. They've all gone from being, first names on the team sheet to almost unplayable. Bruno Fernandes is still one of the first names on the team sheet. Like, let's not over-exaggerate or exaggerate too much quite how far he's fallen here. He's gone from being the most outstanding statistical midfielder in the world to being still one of the most outstanding statistical midfielders in the league. Like, there aren't many players who have got 10 goals and 10 plus assists in the Premier League. That's a very good marker for someone for a season. So he's not at his best, but he's playing around a team of, Ronaldo went 2 months without scoring. Rashford hasn't scored all season. Same with Elanga, they've got 5 goals each.
Yeah,
but
no,
let's be
not
honest, it's
exactly
only
prolific.
Ronaldo who's scoring at all, and even he had barren spells this year. Pogba's been in and out of the team with injury. The whole team around him has been crumbling. The manager got sacked that brought him in. We've got a new manager that no one's performed under. The fact that he's managed to sort of stay afloat at all is actually pretty impressive. So I'm not worried about Bruno Fernandes whatsoever. I think he'll go back to being one of, if not our best player next season. And this whole thing of, he's too ill-disciplined to play in a structured system. Maybe one of the reasons he's ill-disciplined is because he hasn't ever been given that structure to adhere to. I think he's too talented and too smart to not be able to play under Ten Hag. So I don't worry about him next season, certainly. Maybe this year, but he's not going to be back to his best. But he's a great player, and like I said, he's not fallen half as far as some of them have.
He is. I agree with Joe. I think he's a great player. He's had a bit of stick, though, Bruno Fernandes. Certain people online and questioning him, even some pundits saying, is he all he's cracked up to be? What have you made of all that talk?
Well, I agree as well with what you said, Joe. But I think a big thing with Bruno is that the collapse of everyone around him has definitely brought in his level low. Like it has taken him down. But like you said, his numbers are still class. I think he's the highest chance created in the whole league this season.
Made more chances than anyone else. Yeah.
in this United team is definitely an achievement.
And that's,
in itself,
I mean, I know there's different sort of standards or levels of chances, but if you're creating chances, it's not always your fault if they're not,
exactly
finishing them.
I think with Bruno as well, it's like he played nearly more than like any other player in the whole of Europe last season.
Yeah.
He didn't have a break. He played through the Euros. he hasn't had a break. He needs a break, but we rely on him because he's one of our best players. And I know he's been dropped the odd game under Rangnick, but, you know, when a player's in need of a rest, when their form's slightly dipping, ideally you want to give them a rest. If you can't, that's what leads to what's happened with Marcus as well, where their form drops. But I do think that when Ten Hag comes in, he'll probably be one of the first players to find their form again, just because of his quality. You know, he is undoubtedly our best player still. I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the one good thing about Bruno is, for me, we've got that many other issues. He's not one of them. Let's not get silly, and we need to sort Bruno out. We need to replace Bruno. We don't. We've got about 8 players that you can probably say that about in a minute. Bruno, his numbers are still great. He's still creating chances, and I'm with you both. I think when Ten Hag comes in, I think he'll look at Bruno as a player he's looking forward to playing or to working with, because of the talent he's got and the way he's able to come into this United side. When we bought him from Sporting and we were struggling, you know, was it 6 points or whatever it was off the top 4 or something stupid? Just been beaten at home to Burnley. Rejuvenated our season, like you say, played loads of games. He's always played loads of games because we've always got, until this season, to the latter stages of cup competitions where he's played in them all. So he's had long seasons and the Euros as well. I think he'll do well to have a bit of a breather this summer, and then we can get him firing on all cylinders for next one. The sort of question now for United is not Champions League. I know mathematically it's still possible, but let's be honest, it ain't happening. Is whether we're going to get Europa League, Europa Conference, or now I think we're going to get something. Where do you stand on the Europas? If we could just put them into one bracket, do you care? Do you want us to get to them? Are you like, we've got to get to the Europa League rather than the Conference, or you're not that bothered?
I think the Europa League is far preferable to the Europa Conference. The Europa Conference is just, I don't know, almost like charity. It's like what we playing at. Like, I know that obviously I get the argument, if that's where you finish, that's where you deserve to finish. Yeah. But the Europa Conference didn't even fucking exist till last year. So in my head, finishing 8th means you don't deserve any European football. The fact that they've just fit one in, so that when we've fallen so disgracefully far, we still have to go and play in Lithuania, that doesn't give me a boost. Right, or that doesn't make me feel like, well, you know what, fair enough, we only deserve that. Europa Conference isn't even in my mind. Do you know what I mean? So Europa League, on the other hand, I think is a good competition and a hard competition to win. And I think next season we'll start the year, let's say we're in the Europa League, you got the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League and the Europa League. The second hardest one to win of those is the Europa League, I think. I think it's harder to win than the League Cup, certainly, and I think it's harder to win than the FA Cup, personally.
Right, okay.
Do you not think that
certainly
makes...
comparable. I'd rather win the FA Cup, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a difficult thing to win. So if we're in that, there's no... there is some shame in it, but winning it is fucking great. Like, how good was that?
Yeah.
Moscow, I wish.
Stockholm
was phenomenal. I know it was quite an emotional night, but it was great in completing the set and winning the trophy, getting into the Champions League because we didn't finish in the top 4. So I understand what you're saying. What were you just going to say?
Well,
there? Sorry.
I was just going to say that I think that's what makes it problematic, because obviously we've seen last season and the season before, what was it? We got to the semi-final the year before last and the final. You have to go through so much sacrifice to get to that point. And with the Europa League, and it'll be even worse with the Conference League, it's only worth it if you win it. If you get that far and don't win it, you have nothing to show for
and
it.
Actually,
and it's just like,
I think getting that far and not winning it hurt Solskjaer more than if we'd have gone out in the group stage.
Exactly.
I completely agree with that.
Exactly.
I think
getting to that final and losing to Villarreal fucked him.
I know.
Did.
Like, think about those fucking group games we'll have to play. Just against teams. Just
your season starts early, doesn't it, as well? You've got your early starts of the season. It's one of them. I don't know, because I feel you're right. Europa League, if you win that, is a trophy with a bit of kudos to it. You know, when Chelsea won it, I think they won it twice. They got credit and praise for it. You know, we've given Villarreal and Sevilla and teams like that credit for winning it. And when we won it, you know,
Emery's built a reputation on it.
Yeah, it's. But like you were saying now, Andre, you know, if you get to the semi-finals of the Champions League, that's credible. Yeah. That's something to remember and go, got to the semis of the Champions League, though. Do you know what I mean? We talk about Ralph Rangnick, don't we, doing it? You get to the final Champions League and lose. Yeah. It's an achievement getting to the final. No, it still hurts.
Well, Pochettino was down and out on that for 5 years.
Yeah, of course he was.
3 years.
Yeah.
Like last season, I almost felt more gutted going out when we did against, was it Leipzig?
Yeah.
Than the final. I mean, it was close, but I was more gutted about that. And it's like, I think that just shows that maybe a season without it that will allow us to get back into the top 4 next season might just be helpful. And the Conference League will be about 6 trillion times worse. Who will be in our group?
Listen,
teams that we can't even imagine.
Literally.
Teams that are currently just at a sort of amoebas, single-celled football teams that are yet to evolve.
FC Paris Rangers.
Yeah, they will only become real football teams in about June.
We could be the first team to win the Conference, the Europa League, and the Champions League, and the Cup Winners' Cup.
All in the same season.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Liverpool did.
How many clubs can say that? Right. Well, we've sorted all that out.
Give me the Europa League.
You want the Europa League. You say you're not bothered. When it comes to the game and your predicted teams, let us know who you think is going to drive us towards Europa League qualification glory.
I'd love to hear that, Jay. I don't think we've got many options. The one real change, a couple of sort of changes to what we've seen recently. I've taken Varane out for Maguire, but not because he's any better than him, but just because Maguire's back in, he's captain, and Varane's played 3 games in a row now, so he probably needs a break. I don't even know what to say about this whole fucking team, to be honest. Maguire
I think we've broken
in.
Joe. It's just getting too much.
Fred and McTominay, it's nice to see them back, isn't it?
Yeah.
That couple that fucking argues all the time at the barbecue, but somehow they stay together.
Do you reckon they go for coffees?
Yeah, probably. I think they sleep in the same
I
bed
hope
like
they do.
Morecambe and Wise with the fucking little hats on. But yeah, it's like, how are they still together? They argue all the time, and yet every barbecue, every year, they turn up together.
Yeah.
So Fred and McTominay, get him in. Fernandes, again, as we've said, still one of our best performers this season, probably our second best performer this season, numbers-wise. And then front three, we got no options. So Ronaldo's going to play because he's better than and more available than Cavani. And then our only 2 available wingers are Rashford and Elanga, so I will assume they both start.
I mean, it does feel like you sort of going, you know what, they're available, they're fit, get them in. Do you think that might be just Ragnick's approach to this? It's just like, because that's your predicting.
And he's done, isn't he? Finished the season. Because the other problem is, the teams behind us are still shit. Wolves are still a bit shit. West Ham are still a bit shit. Like, it looked like they might catch us up, and then they go and lose at the weekend.
Yeah.
And we've got to get dragged through another week of going, we're probably going to finish 7th or 6th.
Yeah.
And that'll be it.
Yeah.
No matter what team we put out. So just get it done. Fucking hell.
That's the level of enthusiasm that I've come to expect when it's
Sorry, Jay,
following
but you know what I
Manchester
mean.
United. Listen,
You know
I
what
am
I mean?
constantly surrounded by people like that, Joe. You don't have to apologise. This is what this season has done to them.
Yes.
One of the highlights of my season has been seeing City get knocked out of the Champions League in the semi-finals.
Me
and
too.
it's probably going to help lead to the Scousers winning the quadruple. Andre,
I was going to say, you're not
cheer
gonna
us up. Give us your.
Well, you're not going to get
predicted
much more enthusiasm from myself.
Excuse
but
me.
I'm the same. But I've taken out Lindelof and Maguire. I just think if Varane and Maguire can play together, why not?
Yeah.
I just think Maguire, obviously a poor season. He's been given so much scrutiny for it. I just think now's a good time to introduce him back in when it doesn't matter, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, Fred's coming for Matic because Matic he nearly played a full 90 the other night.
Yeah,
Give him a break.
The skin of his teeth.
Fred's probably, scratching the door trying to get back on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think Mata played all right the other night.
Yeah,
I
I
know
thought he
he's going and stuff, but it just doesn't matter. Well,
Nice.
It doesn't Juan. But I'd like to see more kids playing. But obviously, this is my predicted 11. So I think Mata will play. And then I think Fernandes will play. And then Elanga and Ronaldo as well. I mean...
He does seem to like Elanga, doesn't he?
He does.
Ralph, but Ronaldo, he'll want to play, he'll want to start, he'll want to get goals, no matter how poor the team are doing or what we are fighting for, he'll still want to be a part of it. Go to my team, it's sort of similar to both of yours. The main thing I've got in there, I've brought Maguire in for Lindelof. I thought he might just give Varane and Maguire a game together. I put Wan-Bissaka in. At the time recording this, I've not had an update, so I presume I think he's available. If he's not, then Delo will come in there. That's a pretty straight, obvious swap. With the sort of the front three, because the midfield's the same as yours, I've got Mata on the right and Elanga on the left. And I think they can cut in and try and cause a bit of mischief there. I'm with you on the Mata front. I thought he played well against Brentford. Elanga, Ralph Rangnick just loves him, doesn't he? He just seems to prefer him over Rashford. I think Elanga's done okay. I think he's been better than Rashford this season. But I think the question mark around Anthony Elanga for me is, is he going to have a long career at United? Is he going to reach the very top? And I think the jury's still out there. I think he's been sort of forced to play more games than perhaps he should have done because of the lack of quality that we've got in that squad. Ideally, Anthony Elanga should probably have played about 10, 15 games this season, not 15 games on the spin or whatever it is. So, I think he'll end up sticking with him. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Moving forward to Brighton, who are doing a bit of a mixed bag, but doing okay. They've beaten some big teams, beaten the likes of Wolves, Spurs, Arsenal. No disgrace in losing to City. Drew with Southampton. I think they were 2-0 up against Southampton. But they do have the advantage of having one of, if not the greatest player in the history of association football.
Pele.
Come on, better than him. Daniel Welbeck. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Welbeck. And I'm not going to lie to you, Joe. When he nearly scored that header, well, he didn't nearly score. When he got that header against us, Old Trafford, that would have equalised, I would have cheered.
Would you? Would you? Good.
I still love him. I don't care.
Why do you like him?
Right. Danny Welbeck came at a time when we had no youth players coming through, or Mancunians especially coming through, and he's from Longsight, he's like a local lad. He came through and he scored, he tore it up in the academy. I think he scored 4 in one game against City. Scored an absolute worldie. I think was it against West Brom? Might be wrong about who it was, from about 20 yards out, top bins. And it was like, yes, this kid. And him and Cleverly, funnily enough, when they used to do that sort of 1-2 touch football together, remember in the Charity Shield against City, it was mint to watch. And he arrived at the time when memes became a thing. So he got all that sort of stuff of like people, making him a Christ the Redeemer and all that sort of stuff. And we all love him because he's a local lad. And the sort of... The honesty is, maybe he didn't quite have the talent that we all hoped he did. People don't really forget about that chip against Manuel Neuer.
He went to Arsenal, though.
He did go to Arsenal, and I love the fact he went to Arsenal, scored a hat-trick against Galatasaray. Paul Scholes went on the telly and said, we'd absolutely, it's disgrace that we sold him for 40 million quid or whatever it was.
Is that how much he was?
Something like that, and he barely kicked a ball for him again. He's just injury ravaged. He had injury problems. We had Oscar Slatters when he was a kid as well, which is like a joint thing. He was always kept just picking up these injuries. Remember the 8-2? He scored the first goal, gets injured, his hamstring goes. Never quite got going. But he's still got a Premier League winners medal, and I still have a soft spot for him.
That header at the Bernabeu.
Thank you. You know what I mean?
We'll
how many
remember
players have done that for Manchester United?
Few.
Exactly. Not enough. That's how many. Hey? Right, with all that in mind...
Does everyone still love Brighton? Are we still doing this?
Oh, are we doing the whole Brighton,
Potter,
Potter's,
the next Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Are we still playing that game?
More
is
like
it people...
Brian Potter.
Yeah, Brian Potter more like. Yeah. Because he's obviously good and they play good football for their size and stuff, but it's annoying, isn't it? Like when everyone used to love Dortmund for a few years, and then they all passed that on to Leipzig for a bit, and then they've all passed it on to...
Well, Leeds was one.
Yeah, they all passed it on to Leeds.
Yeah, I didn't buy into that, obviously.
Twitter football hipsters are now on to Brighton. Are we still on Brighton, or is there someone else now? Because every single year there's a new one.
I feel like it's Palace.
Is it?
I think it's Palace.
The new
I
one is
think
Palace.
you're right. You've nailed it.
Yeah.
There is. It's like that thing of like you used to say it about Martial, and now his sort of like his
it got passed on to Donny van der Beek.
Donny van der Beek,
Yeah,
and it's like that with, you're right. It goes from a team, and it's like it's usually a team that 9 times out of 10 you get good results against. Yeah. So you can have a soft spot for them because they've not turned you over. They play nice football. They're inoffensive. And it's not like you've had a fight with them or anything.
Yeah, and they have something of like either a manager that plays good football or like they have good young players. Like Dortmund was the young player thing, and then but with Brighton it's their underachieving XG thing. If they just had a striker, which like you think every team in the world would be a bit better if they had a good striker? Look at fucking Fulham. They got promoted because they got a good striker. Like every team.
Brighton do have a good striker.
If you had a world class striker, every team would be better. Man City would be better.
4 Premier League goals, Joseph. 4 this season. He'd be our joint third top scorer, wouldn't he?
So yeah, the hipsters are going slightly from Brighton to Crystal Palace.
Who's it going to be next?
Patrick
Who will be
Vieira.
the next one? That's what we've got to
If
work
Forest
out.
come up, it'll be Forest.
Oh yeah, it'll be Forest.
It'll be Forest if they come up.
It's usually someone you've got to have no money. That's a gift. If you're rich, people fall in love with you like that way. Like you said, all the other things you said, and you only need like 1 or 2 youngsters.
It was Leon for a little bit as well. I don't know when they won the league last year.
Yeah.
It's never a club who like West Brom or Fulham who are always up and down.
No,
it's never a club.
It's
like
never.
that.
You're right. It's not a yo-yo club. It's someone who's either new to the Premier League, managed to stick around a little bit, or has just come up this season or whatever.
It was Bournemouth.
Yeah,
as well.
people love going. Do you know actually they well actually they're fucking shit and they finish in the bottom half every year and they play pretty good football but they still finish the same position that Burnley do.
It's like when we were linked with.
I'm just mad, Jay.
I know you are, but it's funny. When we were linked with, I nearly called him Brad Potter, Graham Potter, and you made a great point. I loved it. You were like, What's he going to do? Go in at the United changing rooms and say to Cristiano Ronaldo, "Hi, I'm the new manager. I've just finished 16th with Brighton. I'm here to tell you how to win trophies."
Yeah.
And then Ronaldo's going to be like, "What? Yeah. What is this? Who is this man? Why is he talking to me?"
Yeah, if we'd have achieved our expected goals into actual goals, I'd have actually finished 9th. Oh, well done, Brian.
Listen,
no, called Brian.
Listen, Ronnie, I like the way you took that, but let me tell you what Neil Maupay used to do.
Yeah.
It's like
you've got your 5 Champions Leagues, but have you ever thought about missing sitters to build a reputation? Because that's what my players have done for me.
Work, and yet fans were clamouring for it, and you think that doesn't work. That's not going to work, and we can get.
He is a good manager, though.
Yeah, he is, and I think he might end up at somewhere. He gets someone like a Villa or a Spurs or an Everton if they stay up. Take a punt on him. He gets a little bit of money and he's able to do that thing of getting into the Europa and who knows in sort of 5 or 6 years he might be at a very, very top club.
He might be the next David Moyes.
He's not going from Brighton to United. We're not there yet.
You know, eventually you play your cards right. You might be the next Andre Villas-Boas.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, play your cards right, big boy.
You can be in there.
You can
be
be
in the hot seat.
In the hot seat.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for that. Sorry, score predictions. I forgot in all the excitement about Graham Potter. Andre, what's your score prediction, please?
6-6.
Wow. Do you know what? I like that. Reasonable. Yeah. We've had a 5-all. We've had a 4-all, obviously. Why not a 6? What are you going for?
I think we'll beat them 2-1. I think they're all right, but we
might do that thing of winning the rest of the games the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And still finishing 5th.
Now it doesn't matter.
Or 6th, sorry, because we left it too late.
Yeah, now it doesn't matter. We'll probably beat them.
I think Bruno might drag us through this one. Yeah. I think he's got the bit between his teeth. He had a good performance. I think if someone like Mata or obviously Ronaldo, if he's got someone who just at least one player who can perform alongside him, we'll be all right. So I'm going to go for, you went 2-1, you went 6-all. I'll go for 4-1.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Why not? Get involved in the comments in the chat and let us know whether you agree with Andre. 6-all. I mean, you know, it's
Welbeck all 6 as well.
Welbeck all 12.
2 perfect hat tricks.
All Joe says it's 2-1, all myself says it's 4-1. Don't forget, if you're not doing already, to subscribe to the channel. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season. With your support, we can do it. You can go and find Joe Smith 93 on Twitter, and make sure you're checking out the Sloppy Joe's podcast.
Yes,
it is hilarious.
Episode 2 out now.
Funny.
Go and watch episode
funny.
1 and episode 2. Sloppy Joe's podcast. Link in the description.
I'm getting very jealous at the amount of praise you're getting.
The amount of slop
you're getting. Andre as well. You can find him on Howson's channel, on the XG files. He's the voice of reason when it comes to himself, Stephen Howson and Ronaldo Brown, which, to be honest with you, isn't much of an achievement. Sat next to them 2 lunatics. Where can people find you on social media?
You can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Adre LB.
Are you a qualified physician?
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, say that again.
Dr. Adre. So basically, me and my mate, when we were younger, we made a rap, and he was 50 pence and I was Dr. Dre, but Dr. Adre. Right. That was my thing.
I think at some point we may need to change that Twitter.
I don't think you can change it to a handle.
Yeah, you can.
You? But you can.
Yeah.
Joe'll sort you out.
But
right. For now,
well, that's what it is for now.
You made a rap. When you say you made a rap, we're not finishing yet. Did you do rapping and that?
No. It was about biscuits.
Can you send it us and we'll play a little clip now? So here's a clip from Dr. Adre's rap.
A mate of mine, he did it.
Wow, how good was that?
He's from Levenshulme, right? It's mint, that brilliant, love it. It's better than the actual Dr. Dre. And he did years ago when he was like 18, 19. He did a thing called Levenshulme Hustle. Right, back in the game. Right? Sorry if you're watching, Mark. I love you to bits. But he did Levenshulme Hustle. We found it on YouTube. It is mint.
Is it?
It is quality, and I'm actually jealous that he did something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he went out and made some music.
We're taking the piss, but really, it's good that you actually did it.
I know. I'm seriously, because you know what I mean.
I was in year 6 though, so it's old.
Let's play it. We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll dig it out and we'll play it. So make sure you check it out, Jay. Make sure you check it out, Joe. You know where to find me. We'll be back for the watch along. It'll be myself. It'll be Joe. Who else is with us?
Joe McGrath as well.
Yeah, man. Joe McGrath. And we'll have a bit of reaction from Andy Tate, Stephen Howson, Adam McCullough, and all that good stuff as well. This has been the Brighton preview. Thanks for watching.